Looks like a nice day, doesn't it? Too bad it's 20 degrees outside. And there's not a lot of folks here. Usually on a Monday, we get quite a bit of people, you know, getting stuff before they go to work and excuse me, bringing their kids in to get stuff for school lunches, whatever. But not in these temperatures. Go check on the kitty cats. I did leave the that's my first time trying this, but at lunch it was really cold in the van, so at lunch I put the buddy heater on low and just left it running. I mean, I've tested it out quite a few times where it's at and everything else, and you know, slept through it and everything else. Everything seems to be okay with it. So this was the first test of doing this, but it was pretty cold. I didn't like the idea of them being in there and being that cold. They'd probably be okay huddled up together on the blanket, but I didn't want them like that. Van's still here. I don't see any smoke, so that's a good sign. Well, bed's a mess, but looks like everyone's okay, right? Pretty sure we're gonna be here for a little bit, cause she be icy. I do have an ice scraper though, so I'm gonna grab it. Oh boy, guess what? Because of all the condensation, that is on the inside.
It's a cold town.
Oh dear. I'm actually thinking about staying in the Walmart parking lot till about noon. I don't need to hit a patch of ice, and there's nowhere for me to be that I have to be at. So why take the risk? I pulled out, but I saw ice patches at the stop sign, so I turned right back around, parked, and made myself another batch of soup.
Noodle soup.
Even with my heater going, it's pretty cold back here. This is the worst so far. But I'm going to chill here at least until noon, because I don't want to take a chance on hitting any black ice. The condensation is pretty bad today as well. This condensation was frozen, so now everything is starting to drip. So these cats do not like it raining inside the van. There's Grable. And neither do I, but there's not much I can do about it. I've got the door cracked and air flowing, but it's just too cold not to have anything running. So we're hunkered down today. Good morning, everyone. I don't even know how I'm going to cut this video up. I essentially spent over 24 hours in the Walmart I work at's parking lot. Because I worked, what day is it today? Today's Tuesday, so I worked Sunday night, and because I was worried about the weather, I actually got here about 5 hours, I guess, before my shift, and just chilled in the back until it was time to go in and work. Worked, came out the next day, and just like now, these things are iced. Got it defrosted, started to pull out, and noticed that there was black ice by the intersection. I was just like, there's no reason for me to do that, so I'll come back. So I came back thinking that I was going to pull back out at noon, but around that time I fell asleep, and by the time I woke up, the sun was going down and everything was freezing again. I just thought to myself, there's no reason that I need to go do anything. I'll just stay here, and that's what I did. I stayed the whole evening, went into work, used that family room. There was almost nobody shopping because, you know, it was black ice and things like that. So I went in that family room and I just completely washed myself up, soap, everything, cleaned up, and I was good to go. I had a good amount of sleep and I had a nice cleanup, brushed my teeth, all that stuff. Thought it was gonna be a normal day. It's a Monday, so the boss wasn't gonna be there, and they gave us special projects. They didn't really give me a special project because the idea was, I had to tell them, and we all had to tell them, it's like, look, if we're all doing your special project, this store's not going to get cleaned. So I single-handedly had to sweep, scrub the floors, pull trash, detail everything in the front end. So the guys could do something they've never done before, that they didn't do a great job at. They were kind of set up to fail. Apparently we're going to have visitors today. I feel like they're going to flake because of the weather, but it's going to be a nice day. But things are iced, and they weren't here this morning, which means they didn't want to come in until later, if they come in at all. But they had them repaint all these like safety, all of our concrete pylons in the back warehouse. They had them repaint those. They had them paint both our balers a different color. All this stuff that hinders actual productivity. And it wasn't like, hey, let's sit down and talk about it, so over the next couple of days we need to do this. It was, hey, these guys are going to be here in the morning. You need to get all this stuff done, and it all needs to be dry by the time they show up. Keep in mind, these are nice guys. They actually planned on slacking a lot today because their boss wasn't going to be there. A. B. You got two young guys that are kind of inexperienced, and they tend to go to their car and partake in the herb. So they're not working the hardest. If you give them one task to do, they'll get it done in that day. That's just what it is. Another guy, undiagnosed, but I'm pretty sure he's on some kind of spectrum.
In my boxer shorts at Kmart.
Because he randomly just makes some, noises, and if you say something to him, he'll hear a completely different sentence. So, nice guy, great guy, works hard. Just, if you get him under stress, he doesn't really pay attention to you. Like, if you ask him a question, it's like, I need to know this, he'll just kind of shut down and just blank out. The other guy, the one they kind of put in charge, they asked me, but I told him no. I told him, I come here to sweep and clean floors. I don't really want to be responsible for anything else. He's a 6-year-old guy who really partakes in the herb and the alcohol when he's off the clock. So he's cranky when he's on the clock.
Get off my lawn.
And he really wants to be in charge. The problem is he cannot handle stress whatsoever. So he was panicking, and he's trying to get everybody to do stuff, but he doesn't really know what to do because he's never had this kind of position. That's the one thing about me. I have worked a lot of jobs, and I think we've discussed this before, but I've worked a lot of jobs in retail, and a lot of jobs in remodeling, stores, and even on floor crew. I've been on both sides of it. I hired floor crews, I had to oversee floor crews, and I've also been on floor crews. So none of this stuff is surprising to me. I've literally forgotten more than these guys know. Like, I don't remember some of this stuff until it starts jogging my memory a little bit. So I know, A, this is usually a third-party gig that you do, and usually third-party gets paid more and gets at least 2 to 3 days to start and finish this project. They gave them less than 8 hours for a crew that probably actually puts in less than 5 hours worth of work on a good day. I mean, you got one guy that takes the whole shift to clean 4 bathrooms and only have like 2 stalls each. So anyway, that's just to catch you up. So I took a shorter lunch today, and because I still want to stay on task, so I got everything done. The store looks just as good as if I worked with the crew to do it, or whatever you want to call it, because I do most of the stuff on my own anyway. And I did the stuff that they weren't able to do, because that's the thing. Like, they gave us all these gigs, but they didn't really think it through. If these guys are coming to inspect, they expect to see a clean store with these other upgrades done. You know what I mean? Like, the stuff they complained about was addressed, but if these guys are out there doing it tonight, stuff's going to be underneath the aisles. The floors are going to look dirty. The bathrooms are not going to be clean. And the bathrooms in the break room are not clean. I did not do that. I don't do bathrooms, and I don't do the break room.
You're nasty.
I pulled all the trash for them because, I kind of look at that as part of my gig anyway. I don't pull trash, but I pull the trash cans and put them out top for everybody and things like that. I know where all the trash cans are, so I went ahead and pulled trash. I scrubbed everything. On top of that, this is when produce comes and does their inventory. So had to coordinate with them, which was fine. But I imagine the stress levels for them are even higher too, because they got to try to keep their section looking good while they need to kind of destroy their section to get their inventory counted. So today is technically payday. I don't know what I'm going to do today. it's still not defrosted yet. Sun's out nice and bright. My solar, even though I've had that ring light on all night, solar is at 100%. I need to check the propane. It did finally kick off. Oh, I need to make sure that knob's off too. Give me a second. I'm pretty sure I turned the knob off already. Ouch. No, maybe it was on. Anyway, sorry. It either just kicked off before I came back in, or it's been off. I haven't looked back there, but my hand was like got a little flake burnt on the top. But right now the propane's pretty frozen, so I need to check it and make sure it's going to be good, or if I need to get another bottle. I feel like it's too soon to get a bottle, but I have run it high a few times, and for the most part, this thing ran for 24 hours. I only kicked it off for like 2 hours yesterday evening, and then I left it running all night to the morning for the cats, just because, man, it got down to 13 degrees. I'm not gonna leave my cats in here down to 13 degrees. So I have it up on that hanging thing, because if I don't, Waddle likes to sit in front of it, and you smell burning hair. Happy's guilty too, but she knows to jump off, but Waddle just kind of sits there looking up at the sky like, what's that smell? So I put it on those hanging things that I got, those 2 reef hangers I bought that time, and it seems to have done pretty well. I came and checked in on them at lunch, only did 30 minutes, but fed them, left, and sun's out today. It's still going to be cold. It's supposed to be cold pretty much for the next week, and then it's normal cold for us. You know, like highs in the 50s, in the low 50s, lows in the mid 30s. Like 34 degrees is our average winter weather. Not 13, not 20. So I think anything above 35 I'm okay with the setup I have. But I definitely know if I'm going to be doing stuff like this again with this van come next winter, I am getting a diesel heater. That is just a must for the dry heat. That's why. Like, this propane's doing fine. It's just the condensation is ungodly. So, and I probably need to put a fan in. I don't really want to, a max air fan or something, but I think it's going to be necessary if I keep staying in these climates anyway. Since I took such a good shower, and I really did, I took a good cleanup, in just as good as if I was doing a Planet Fitness shower. I don't think I'm going to Planet Fitness yet. I'm debating over traveling toward where I usually get groceries. I just don't know if I need groceries. I got litter for right now. I do need to dump. The litter's frozen, like, it's hard up and frozen right now. So I need to throw the old litter away and redo it, which will take that whole bottle. Which means I probably need another thing of litter. Cats are almost out of dry cat food. I guess that's a good enough reason to go over that side of town. And I could gas up and everything too. Alright, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go a little past Buc-ee's as we've done before. I hope I've caught you up in my babbling. It is going to be a nice clear day though. So as soon as we get defrosted, we'll hit the road. I'm a little behind on posting videos. I just haven't had time to. Yesterday I slept, and I haven't had time to edit the next videos just because during fight night I kind of stopped recording, and then like yesterday I basically just went to sleep and didn't wake up till it was time to go to work. And yeah, I mean, just I haven't had time to edit or post anything because I need Walmart Wi-Fi to post for the most part, and I've been too busy. I've been busy. I know I just cleaned floors, but somehow I became busy, really busy. The inventory and inspections and stuff will be done by like the first week of February, so we're almost at the end of it. After that, they might tell me to stop pulling in overtime. Because you remember, I've been working every day. I'll be working tonight. And I really needed to go for the next month or so if I want to do what I'm trying to do. Guys, I know I'm babbling. Hopefully you find some enjoyment out of this. If you do, please consider giving a like. If you don't, consider giving a like out of spite. I don't know. Give me a comment. What do you guys think about anything I've been babbling about? Tell me if you've seen my other videos, which videos you like more. I really do need some input. Like, I can make these like just twice a week if you want, and we can go do something or whatever, and it'll be a little more, you know, tight, concise 13 to 23 minute video. Or we can do these daily things where I come in and start rambling when I get off work and sign off when I go back in for my next gig. So let me know. I really do need some input. Talk to you a little bit. And yes, that's on the inside. Mimo, Waddles, Happy. I'm fairly certain Grable's up there somewhere too. I definitely need to clean, make, and use the lint brush on my bedding. Just waiting for stuff to defrost. We're getting there. Since we're waiting, what state are you watching this from? And what's the temperature where you're at? Alright, I wiped the windshield off with my washcloth, so that'll get us moving. Now let's pray for no black ice, because today we're just going to chance it. Away we go, gang. Oh, I do have a nice little fun aside for you. Customer came in the last hour of my shift, and he was hauling 2 full shopping carts of different types of milk, you know, whole, half, whatever you call it. So of course I asked him if he needs some help. He says, I'd love some. So I parked my vehicle and I jumped off and helped him. And I was joking with him. It's like, this milk might be frozen by the time you make it to the car. You know, just random work humor. And he says he actually works at Starbucks, and they haven't had a milk order in a couple days because of the ice. So his boss told him to go buy milk. He's like, okay, I can do that. So 2 shopping carts full of gallon jugs of milk headed to Starbucks in the same shopping center. It's a nice sunny day. All the ice on my van is dripping down and melting because the sun's hitting this side of it. But if you go over to the other side where my van's creating shade, it's freezing back. This is ice. So it's melting on the sunny side, and when it gets to the dark side of the moon, essentially, it's freezing. Isn't science interesting? I didn't end up going inside to Walmart. We are getting pretty close to empty on our propane, so it's good that we're over here. I'm going to kind of run this thing on high and see when it empties out. When it empties out, I'm going to get another propane bottle. I ran it on high a few times this week, and then I've run it constant for at least 2 days. So it's not surprising that it's running down so fast in these temperatures, and I'll probably end up doing it again. But 20 bucks is not bad for the amount of heat I'm getting for this, because the cats and I definitely need the heat. But I did go and buy some stuff in there. I'm going to make a mixed vegetable soup, because I got a can of the stuff already. Now I got a can opener. So I got some meat. Got some diced tomatoes with celery and bell peppers in it. Never tried that one before. And I got some tomato paste. I should already have some bouillon and, like I said, a can of mixed vegetables. And I got myself one of these. Growing up in Thailand, I love these. Alright, cats are in the front, enjoying a little sunlight even though it's cold. And I don't know how much you guys can see, but this is just going to be a quickie thing here. Let my pan get hot since it's so cold out here. Ordinarily, I would cut this meat up in even smaller pieces. I just don't have the room or the time right now, so I'm just going to season it up, put some ground thyme, some ground thyme on it. Wish I had some cumin, but I don't have any cumin. Doing some onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of chili powder. Hot, so I'm going to throw this stuff in. Okay, there we go. A little bit of black pepper. Sorry it's so dark and backlit, guys, but this is how it's going to be. Alright, I'm going to take this, I'm going to stir it. Even though my pan is crowded, I'm really just trying to get a good sear on everything. While that's going on, I've got this can of Veg-All Original 7-in-1 mixed vegetables. So you've got like green beans, corn, lima beans, carrots, celery, and potatoes. I use this a lot. I use both versions when I usually make a big pot of it, but this will be our first time making it in a van. This new can opener is fantastic. It's called Prep or something like that. Costs about 10 bucks, but I was tired of getting other stuff. And I'm just going to use this with the liquids because I don't really have a lot of water. Ooh, I didn't know it was going to fill up that high. All right. Yeah, definitely not used to this size pan. All right. Might have to take some of that out, actually. Mix it real quick. Right, putting that back on the heat. And now I'm going to add some, because I don't have room for all of it, my diced tomatoes. Yeah, definitely recommend this one. I got it at Walmart. It's got silicone handles, real comfortable. Doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart. Let's pour some of this in, about that much. And I should have done that first, but hold on. Tomato paste. I got this beef bouillon. Basically, we had a jar of beef bouillon break at work a while back, and they needed a barcode, but everything else could be thrown away, so I whipped out a Ziploc and threw the bouillon in a Ziploc.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life.
Which they were fine with, because it was going to get tossed anyway. I hate waste. I hate the amount of waste we do when we throw out meat. We throw out so much, like steaks and stuff. I wish I could intercept somehow. All right, there we go. That's gonna cook for a while, so I'm gonna put that top that I bought from Dollar Tree on it to let that kind of get to a boil. Catch up with you in a bit. All right, it's heating up enough now, so now we're going to add some more seasons to the actual overall broth. Stay there, Bimo, we don't have room. A little bit more chili powder. A little bit more garlic powder. Don't really need onion powder. I am going to add some more thyme. And we're going to add some, stay back, Bimo. Stay back, Bimo. I know you want to help, but you can't. A little bit of Italian seasoning. And just a little bit more salt until I can taste. Alright, I'm going to mix it again. It is bubbling. I am going to add some more water once it's cooked up some, but I want everything to cook up really good and get it together. Then I'm going to add some water for the bouillon. Bimo, no, stay back. Girl. You and your death wishes. All right, everything is really well mixed, so I'm putting the top back on, letting it get back to a boil. It's nice and warm already. All right, I have tasted the broth. It tasted okay. I added some more salt, and I'm adding a little bit of soy sauce. I just like the taste of the little slight saltiness of soy sauce in my stuff. And because I have it, and I think it'll be a nice little taste. Sometimes I add it at the end, but I'm going to add a little bit of Texas Pete. And that's pretty much everything I'm adding. It's cooking up pretty good. Everything is mixed up. Everything is cooked. Everything is hot. I just want to simmer it essentially. I'm going to let it cook for at least another 30 minutes. And when I feel like it's ready, we'll have a taste test. Alright everyone. Here's what it looks like. Hopefully you can see. So now it's time for a taste test here. See if you can see that. Well, and I lose every bit of it. See if you can see that there. Taste test. It is hot. Not the best cut of meat, so I would have liked something with more marbling, but this was cheap. It was $8 for that pack of meat. And cooking in there that long softened it up pretty good. Probably the next bowl I have will have it even softer, so not bad. Not an entirely tough cut of meat, just not a lot of fat to it, so choose, but it's good for soup. All right, I'm gonna eat this, watch some Supernatural. When I check that propane, now that it's warmed up, it's in the yellow. I've got it on low right now. I had it on high, but it's gotten too warm back here, so I got it on low. We'll see what happens. If we don't run out, we'll try to run it again. Worst case scenario, we come back tomorrow. We grab our propane from our favorite spot. It's been good so far, everyone. You know, was rested, worked. Saw a lot of black ice on the way here, though. So I definitely need to be careful on the way back. But I saw a lot of black ice. I do kind of want to hit the showers tonight, so we probably leave here a little earlier. We gotta get that sweet spot of after rush hour, but before the gym closes and I have to be at work. Catch up with you a little bit. Well, good evening, everyone. About to leave that Walmart lot that I was hanging out and mostly sleeping at. It is something like 8:45 or something, so as long as I don't procrastinate or hit any black ice, we're good. Headed to work. Not really looking forward to it, but hopefully once I get there, I'll get motivated. Windshield wasn't iced over, and if I would have cracked my other window, I don't think I would have had any condensation, because the one I had cracked, nice and clear. I had run my little Ryobi fan in the back while the heat was running, and the heat's still going good, so I'm not getting another bottle yet. There it is. But I do have an issue, and I'm hoping it's a easy fix, but it looks like, you know, I've been saying that I need glasses on. What am I doing? There we go. I've been saying that my battery's been doing really good, but I think sometime this week my BMS froze up, because at one point it read 99% last week and then went back up to 100. But today I looked at it and it's at 100. Give me a second. But it's not registering any discharges and stuff. Like, I've been watching Supernatural, all that stuff. The TV should at least show a power draw. So it's just showing 100, no discharge, full capacity on the battery. And I did some Google searches and things like that, and it basically says that sounds like the BMS has frozen. And one of the suggestions is just to disconnect and reconnect, which is not the hardest thing to do, but you guys know that back left door, the little rod broke, and now I can't open it, so I have to do everything by climbing over the bed and standing at limited amount of space. But I can still do that. The other thing, if that doesn't work, I'm supposed to disconnect it, give it like 2 minutes to reconnect it, is to unhook anything that's giving it juice or whatever, like the solar panels and stuff, which for me is just the solar, which is not hard to do. Once I get to the box to unhook and reconnect, it's the same spot. It's pretty easy. I do it every time we have to put in a new 12-volt item, right? But then I got to drain the battery all the way down and then run it all the way back up. And to me, that sounds like what happened in the summer, where we inadvertently ran it all the way down and then had to hook it up to, we basically killed the battery, right? So we had to essentially get a hotel room so we could do that jump system. And that took most of a day, if not more, to get back to 100%. I'm really not up for that. And with this cold weather, my concern is the condensation got to it, since everything that was condensing froze. I'm kind of hoping the unhook and reconnect when it's nice and sunny, not because of solar, but because the van will be warmer. I'm going to hook my fan up back there before then and let it kind of air everything out. Unhook it, give it probably about 15-20 minutes, and then rehook it, and really hope that that BMS finds a way to reset on its own. I guess these are just the trials and tribulations of van life, but I already lost my 12-volt fridge. Definitely don't want to lose these batteries. The batteries are working, you know, that's just it, they're charged, but the BMS isn't registering, so they may not be charging. But when I look at the monitor, the physical charge controller, it looks like it's getting stuff from solar, so they might still be charging. It might just be the BMS isn't working, but you know, the other concern is that the BMS isn't allowing the batteries to charge, and I'm just running them down. And there's no way with what I have right now to know. Although I do have that, I had unhooked it, that little monitor that came with the charge controller, that I think I'm going to dig out. It's just in my sock drawer. Plug in and see if maybe it will show me, because it has a picture of a battery with little bars, the state of charge. If it doesn't say 100%, but then it maybe shows charging, less to be concerned about. Probably going to check into that when I get off work, just working every day. I'm not too motivated to do much else other than just lounge, to be honest with you. I do have laundry to do tonight in the morning. But I am at work. And I do need to get washed up in work. It's almost 9:30. My shift officially starts at 10. I usually try to clock in 9 minutes early. And I try to be inside about 9:30. So I'm tired. I'm good once I get into work. I'm good once I get off. It's just I wake up rested but drained. I'm sure that's to be expected considering I've been working every day for over a month now. But I've had a good day. Been playing with the cats. They had a good time. They got to come up to the cab, so they all chilled, ran back and forth and played, and then they kind of tell me when they're ready to go to bed. When it gets about noon, they all, one after the other, come to the back and eat their cat food, drink some water, and then take their respective places. Although they're all fighting for that cat bed I got that Waddles was originally made for Waddles to use because he was the only cat that laid there. But now they all want to lay there. So there was a bit of jockeying for that. If Waddles got up to drink water and came back, there would be another cat on it. And then sometimes you'd have two cats on it. Bimo would always try to push him off. Grable would come and lightly bite him in the back of the neck, trying to convince him to move. But once we all got settled and went to sleep, we slept. I slept good. I didn't want to really get up. I hit snooze a few times. So until next time, this is your old pal, Hannibal Vanable, signing off.